Hey everyone, and welcome to the final installment of our new agent series. I can't believe it is already time. We are on the final day and the last one of this series. So, welcome. And I am really excited to be here with you all today. But this is the session right now. Is the best practices to creating show-stopping itineraries. I'm super excited. I will go into more depth about this, but before I do, a couple things that I just want to mention. I'm sure you've been joining us for more sessions before this that you've seen this slide before, but just know that we are recording all of these sessions. So these sessions are all getting recorded and they will go onto our YouTube channel shortly after they air. So if you go to our YouTube channel, we created a playlist on there where you'll actually be able to find all of these amazing, fun sessions we've been doing all week long. And we still have one more after this. So there's still more to come. So we'll get this one up and then one more after that. And then we'll have all of our sessions on YouTube for you to enjoy after this. Another thing I want to mention though is Q&A. So this session, once I get towards the end, we're going to wrap it up so we can get ready for that next session. So please do put your questions in that chat. You can use, if you're in Zoom, use that chat or the Q&A panel. If you're on Facebook Live, just comment. We're going to be in all areas so we can reply back to your questions. Now, if the session wraps up and we weren't able to get to your question, please know that our support team is happy to help. You can send them an email at professional@travefy.com, or my personal favorite way, just live chat them inside your account. It's a really easy way just to ask questions. And then if you leave out of your account, you'll just get a reply as an email. So it's a really great way just to get those questions answered. So keep that in mind. You know, we have tons of support. I will say though, even though it is the last day finally, we've caught up a little bit here, but just give us a little bit of grace as we try to get through all those questions, because as you can imagine, it's been pretty busy this week. But we love it. We love having that. I swear our keyboards are like on fire because we've just been doing so many chats. So keep them coming and we'll get those answered. And then the final thing is, without not us talking to you, but join the Facebook group and join the community. It's been a lot of fun to see, this whole week, seeing everybody jump into the Facebook group, keep conversations going, sharing things they're learning. It's so fun and it's an amazing community. So go in there. If you're not already part of it, it's the official Travefy Facebook group. So join that group if you haven't after this. And then finally, this again, I've been saying this is our final installment of this series, but this year we did something new in honor of us launching our new agent program, which I'll talk about here in a minute. We decided to put together a whole series. So we have where, we talk about on day one, which was Tuesday. It feels like it was weeks ago, but it was on Tuesday. Bonnie talked about how to set up your website. And then the second day on Wednesday, I talked about how to organize your client contact information with the CRM. Yesterday, I talked about proposals, and now we're talking about good old itineraries. So we kind of went down the line, starting from your marketing into organizing information that you get from marketing, and then, all right, selling those trips. Now, we are on the final one of actually providing that final itinerary to your clients. Now, all of these sessions are really great. Again, if you haven't checked them out and you either are a new agent, or I think if you're a new Travefy user, they're really good too, because we really go from the ground up. So I also have heard yesterday, I saw somebody say that they have been using Travefy for a while. They are a veteran advisor, but they still are finding help in these sessions. So that's awesome. I love that. And this one is going to be no different. You're going to have a lot in this session. But before I go into that session, one thing I do want to talk about, this is pretty big. We released this information, or we announced it on Tuesday during our keynote. We have launched a new travel agent program. We'll put the link in the chat in Zoom and on comments and Facebook Live. But what's really amazing about this program is we needed a way that helped you start running your business, which means it's more affordable. So this is starting, if you're a new agent, it's starting at it's $25 USD a month to be using Travefy. And not only are you getting access to Travefy like you normally would, we're also helping you set up your website domain and email address. So if you're a new business, or maybe you've been in business, and you're like, I don't even know how to do that. Well, let us help you. We can do it. So that is what this program is all about. Now, if you're interested or want to find out if you qualify for this program, go to the link that we're dropping in, and you can fill out a form, and then our team will be reaching out. And we just want to set up a call and make sure, like everything, and it's just going to be the right fit for you. And then maybe by next week, you're in the program. We will see. So check that out in there because it's very exciting stuff. And then finally, a couple other things. This is a lot of the fun stuff here is happy hour. It is today. We're 2 sessions away if you count this one. And then we are going to be doing travel trivia happy hour. So join us on there. Again, whether you're on Facebook, just come back there, join us, or if you're in Zoom, come and join us in there. We will have both up. We have multiple screens going so we can see everything, and it'll be a lot of fun. It's going to be a really, really fun time. And I can't wait. And you can win prizes as well. So there will be prizes that you can win. So make sure you join us for that. And then also, let's not end this just because we're on the final sessions. Keep these coming. We have been doing a social contest all week long. It has been so much fun to see these photos. You really just take a picture of, I'll pose, yay, take a picture with me. It'll be really fun. Or you can take a picture during happy hour, and then just tag us, and then do hashtag Travefy TC25. And then just make sure you tag us either on Instagram or Facebook. That's where we're going to be able to see them at. And then if you might be one of the lucky 3 chosen by the end of all of this, and you are going to receive a Travefy swag pack. So there's a lot of fun things going. We couldn't just do these sessions and call it good. We had to add a little sprinkle of fun to the mix. So participate in those if you want, and we would love to see your pictures in there. But okay, that's enough of the housekeeping. Now I want to get into this fun stuff. Okay, so what we're doing here, here's the agenda for today. First, I'm going to talk about a quick overview on itineraries and Travefy, which I think is really awesome because this is where we started, is the itinerary. So I'm deeply honored to be doing this with you. So we will talk just a quick overview, and then we are actually going to do a full demo. We are going to go into the like cracks of how you put together an itinerary. So we are going to talk about how you create your client's itinerary. And then throughout that, throughout that, and then at the end as well, I'm going to show some tips to adding more value, magic into these itineraries. So we're not going to make this basic. Let me just say that. This is going to give you a lot of ideas, a lot of tips. And then finally, we will also talk about, okay, what does this look like for your client? Talk about that mobile app, the PDF, all the different ways that they can get this document. And really at the end of the day, it's all about them, and we want to provide that awesome experience. So we'll talk about that as well. So we have a lot to cover actually, because I was telling Bonnie before this, I was like, Bonnie, I could have made this webinar an hour and a half or longer. There's so much we can do. But to just explain, because if you are new to Travefy, or, new to the industry and itinerary building is new for you, well, I'm a little biased, but I think itinerary is the best part. But I know for some of you, you're like, it's probably it's the one that maybe it's not my favorite, but that's okay because I will show you how you can really streamline this, which is great. But itineraries, though, is truly Travefy's bread and butter. And again, I am so excited that I get to be the one to do this session with you, because I've been showcasing this training, like this exact not this exact one, because we've done a lot of new things over the years, but for 9 years, I've been showing how to create itineraries. And over those years, it's been amazing to see how much more we have available. Like I said, 9 years ago, this would have taken 15 minutes maybe. Now I could go on all day. So there's just so much that I can show you. And also, not only that, but just show you how you streamline this process of itinerary building and giving your clients an amazing experience. So not only will you see how simple it is to create these itineraries, but you'll see how much you'll be able to start saving time with the integrations, built-in content, and more, which I'm going to show you here in the next slide. But I really want to state though that this is whether you are really into itinerary building and you love adding a lot of stuff to it, this will be awesome for you. But even if you're someone like, ah, this is like my least favorite part, I know I have to do it, that's okay. You still have so many options to make this quick and simple. Gone are the days if you are currently using like Microsoft Word, Canva, which I'm sure they look fantastic, but it's a lot of work though to just keep putting them together and putting them together. So I can't wait to show you so much that's going to help save time and really make this really valuable for your clients. And with that, one of the things that I want to talk about is, and what you'll see during our demo today, is that Travefy offers so many different pieces that help make this streamlined for you. So one of the biggest things is that we integrate with hundreds of suppliers. So you will find hundreds of different suppliers built in. So what does that mean? It's basically like if you're looking for tours, cruises, you can basically just look them up in like our database and pull them in. We work directly with some suppliers. So if you book with a specific supplier, you might just be able to bring in that booking. And again, for those of you who are like, I just don't have the time, I don't like spending time on itineraries, like that will be perfect for you because it's not going to take a lot of time to make something look so good. The other thing is we also have destination content. This also will help save time and look really cool. So that's all built in. You'll get to see it because I'm going to be going through that. We also have things like live flight tracking. So you do have the ability to pull in flight information, and then your clients will actually get to see live flight updates in their app and it'll update in the itinerary on its own. I mean, that alone we could talk about here for a little bit, but I'll come back to that because that's a really big one. And in the comments, let us know, tell us stories because I can tell you so many stories that it's actually happened to me even where I'm using that mobile app and I find out on the trip in the Travefy app before the airline or the airport tells me. Happens all the time. So if you have a fun story, please drop it in the comments or the chat because there's just so many of those. But the other thing is that at the end of the day, this itinerary is going to look amazing because you're adding photos, videos, all of that. We have a lot of other CRM back office integration. So vacation CRM is one, client-based Trace. Those are just a few of them that we do work with and integrate with. And then we also have a global hotel database system as well. So you can pull in hotel content, which you'll see me do. So that's a lot. I mean, I could probably be like, all right, we're good. I mean, there's so much stuff in here already, but I want you to see it in action here shortly. But before we do that, though, I want to talk about the final thing that your clients, that we'll talk about today is we're going to wrap it all up and talk about the client experience. And that includes the app, the Trip Plans app. So we're going to explore this app together. But keep in mind that your clients can also download and print a PDF of their itinerary and they can view it on the web anytime. So there's a lot of versatility for your clients when they're actually viewing this completed itinerary that you've created. But okay, with all of that, I feel like I'm getting like, woo, lightheaded because I just talked so much there. We want to dive in and actually walk through how to do all of this. So let's do this. So what I'm going to do, let me move my screen around. I am actually going to jump in to my Travefy account. So I'm sure all of you have seen this. If you have not, this is what Travefy looks like. This is what it'll look like when you get into your account here. You'll be able to view all of your trips you're working on, but we want to go ahead and create a new one. So we're just going to go ahead and create a new trip here together. So we're going to do that by creating new trip. And then you could choose proposal, but that's not what we're talking about today. That was yesterday's session. So yesterday's session covered proposals, decisions. And the difference with these is a proposal is your quote. So if you create it as a proposal, that's, pretty much that you're building that to show what you're trying to sell it to the client. And the itinerary is the final document. Now, if you accidentally choose a proposal and you meant for it to be itinerary, don't worry about it. You can switch it. So when you click itinerary here, you actually do have the option. If we click settings, you can change it back. So I always like to point that out because it's pretty big that, people are like, oh my gosh, I have to start all over. You don't. That's the good thing. But let's start doing this. So I'm going to give this trip a name. Now, I want to stop right here really quick and say something because if you've been joining us on other sessions, you may have noticed that we've done a lot of cruises and all-inclusive examples, but we haven't really shown any like FIT. We haven't shown FIT some love. So like those Europe trips or those really like customized itineraries. So I'm really excited to take this opportunity to show a Europe example with more customized itinerary features. So today, our clients, they are going to, drumroll, Italy. So they are going to go on an Italian adventure. In fact, I was really excited to tell you all this. I made pasta last night in honor, and I listened to Italian music in honor of this itinerary. I needed some inspiration, if you will. And then at happy hour, I'm going to be drinking some nice, fine red wine. So we are going all in on Italian today. So that's why I could have made this webinar really long because I was getting into it. So where we're going on an Italian adventure here. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to title this. Now, one thing I want to note, you can add labels. So you could add labels to these trips just to help like organize, and you can add multiple labels. So that was a question the other day, I think it was yesterday, someone asked about that, and you can add multiple labels in there, which is really nice. And again, it'll just really help, keep your trip workspace very clean. But all right, let's edit this thing, shall we? Now we're gonna go living in this itinerary for a bulk of this time. So when we're gonna go edit this, we are simply going to click edit. So there's nothing more I need to do in this trip right now. I'm just gonna click edit and we're gonna go into the itinerary builder. So that's where we are. Now, if you haven't seen this before, this I will try to point things out. But if you feel like I missed something, please do chat us and ask because we've been doing so many sessions that I easily can gloss over something at this point. So if there's anything that you're like, wait, so how do you do that? Just please ask that question and we will answer that for you. But a couple of things that I tell users to do first when you're setting this trip up is really just getting the basics, like changing your cover photo. We're going to go ahead and let's just say like Rome. Now, we do have thousands of free stock photos in here that you can use, but you can also upload your own. So I see this sometimes people they'll create their own image, like if they have their own photos, but I've seen some pretty cool creative ways, like they'll go on Canva and they'll create it and they'll put like some, the people's name or their picture in there. So there's a lot you can do, but I'm just going to go ahead. I'll keep it simple for this. I'm just going to pick that photo. And then there we have it. Now, another thing that I do need to include, we already have the name, but we don't have a start date yet. And so I could go ahead and add that start date by going into the trip settings. And then I can go ahead and say the date. Now, I'm going to put this on June 23rd, which is my birthday. I'm telling you, I'm going all in on this itinerary. If it has to do with Italy, it must have some fun. So we did that. So they're going to depart on this fun day. And then you can see in here, we have options. You could add like description, things like that. But again, we will leave this blank for now just to save some time, but remember where the settings are. Again, you'll find them up at the top, settings, and you'll be able to access all the things that have to do with this itinerary specifically in there. But now let's start adding information. Now, this is going to be the most important part that you will need to know if this is brand new to you. When you add information, you are going to go to new event. From new event, you are going to select what is it that you want to add. And this is what I was talking about with all of those built-in integrations that I was referring to in those databases. So let's take, for example, and by the way, you'll by the end of this session, you'll understand what all of these mean. But when you click new event, let's say the first thing that we're going to add here is the flight. The flight, it's the first thing that happens on a trip. So let's go ahead. Well, maybe not necessarily, but in this one, it will. So we're going to say flight first. Now, for the flight, we have a built-in database for flight information. So you can always like send a reservation, an email confirmation to us, or you have this option. You can pull in if you have flight records. But honestly, this is my favorite way because you can just look up a flight just as simple as putting the airline and the flight number. Let's see, I have this flight and just click get info. And there it is. And again, this doesn't have to be booked or anything. So we're just adding it just as a normal flight from a database. And we're just adding it right in. And look at that. You can see. And it even falls in. See how it fell into that next day and adds it correctly? That's how easy this is. Now, the great thing is those live flight updates. Now, you will see this little green check mark. That means we are currently checking for these flights. Now, when these flights are getting updated, they will, if it's not within 24 hours, it's going to update every like few days. So you can see the next update check we're going to do is on April 14th. So just in a few days from now. But once it gets within 24 hours, it'll be constant update. So anything from the gate, because right now this doesn't have a gate on it because it's too early. So once it does know the gate, it will start telling you that information. And then it'll just constantly update and notify you and the clients and then update within here. Now, something else that's really great if you need to include other information like seat assignments, or if you want to add some notes for them, things like that, you're just going to scroll over this event, click that pencil icon, and then in here, you'll see you have a lot of fields that you have the availability to fill out. Now we could put, again, you can add notes in here. You don't really need to add much because luckily this adds stuff in there, but maybe seat details you could go ahead and add if you wanted. Another pro tip, if you need to add seats for like a group or a family, you can utilize this table option, which is kind of fun. So you could put like Stephanie's seat and then put the seat number, like this person's seat. So that's kind of just a fun tip there if you ever want to use that. But otherwise, I just kind of dropped them in there. And then another thing that you can do is every event that we create in here, you will have the option to attach documents. So if you want to put like the PDF confirmation, like if it was a tour or something, but if it's like of the flight, you can put that in there as well, which is I do that on my own personal itineraries. Like if I have transfers, stuff like that, I will actually put the PDF in there, especially when it has QR codes on it, just in case, because I just like having everything there. And then, but when you're done, just click done editing, and there you go. Simple, right? So we have our flight in. We have the first thing. Good job. We did it. Now, one other thing that I want to do. This is a pro tip. I want to show a fun pro tip here. In these days, do you notice how it says Monday and then Tuesday? And that's what it'll continuously say. It'll say like Wednesday, Thursday. But did you know you can actually change those date titles? So some a fun way to kind of jazz up this itinerary is by changing those date titles. Now, you don't have to on all of them or any of them, but let's say, for example, if I want to change this day to say, like, you're departing, we can click on, if you see where it just turned yellow when I scroll my mouse by that date, click on that. And then on the day title, you can actually copy and paste. Well, I'm going to copy and paste something in. But look, I put an emoji and I said, Bon Viaggio. Nope. Oh man, Bon Viaggio. I apologize. Italians, when you're watching this, please forgive me, but just had to do fun. So Bon Viaggio to Italy. So there we go. There we have that day title in. And so how fun is that? I mean, it's just again, it's just fun ways to jazz things up a little bit there. Again, I do this on my own itineraries. I usually will put some emojis in there just so I remember, because it's also nice if it's like when you're changing days. So it's like you're heading to Florence today. It helps, especially on these type of itineraries where there's a lot of moving pieces and they're moving around a lot. It can help to change those day titles, especially when you're looking at it like a full view of there. So hot tip right there. Know that you can always do that. But okay, let's add another thing here. Let's now add our hotel. This is going to be one, you're typically going to be adding hotels, resorts, stuff like that. So what I can do is I can actually add this by clicking new event and then lodging. So lodging is where you're going to find all the hotel database. So if you remember in that slide that I was showing that we have hotel content, just click lodging. And then from here, you can always add things manually. So let me preface by saying you really can come back and add things manually if you wanted. And you can also add them via smart import, which hold on to that thought. I will come back to it in a bit, but smart import, chef's kiss. It's going to be amazing, but I will come back to it. But right now, I want to show you how you pull things in from our database. So right now, what I can do is I'm going to type in the Waldorf Astoria. Man, I'm just making my dream trip here is what I'm doing. The Waldorf Astoria in Rome right here. So you can see as I start to type it, how it's coming up. Well, I want that one right there. That's what I want. Now, really quick, one thing, because you might be looking at this and you're like, what is Virtuoso? Or you are a Virtuoso member and you're like, what is that? How do I get that? We do have Virtuoso and select hotels. We have their content in our system. So if you are a Virtuoso member or you sell select hotels, so like travel leaders, things like that, you actually can turn those on in your account so you can get access to that hotel content. I will show you how that works. I will come back to that in just a moment. But hold on to that because I just want to call that out because some of you might be seeing that and you're like, hold on, what is that? But right now, I'm going to pull in content from Travefy's database. So in here, you will see there it comes. Now I'm going to add the checkout. Now this is really handy, especially for these like FIT trips that you can include a checkout because it helps to know like, okay, you're checking in this date, but now you're checking out and then you're going to check into a different place, things like that. So I'm going to add my checkout date and then I'm just going to add it and then watch what happens here. Now you're going to see how this came in. Now, again, this came from Travefy's database. So you're going to see you got photos in here and you got information as well. Now, something I like to call out here, you can edit this if you want to add more, or sometimes what I see is, especially if you are specializing in some of these destinations, you might want to be putting your own information in here. So I actually went ahead and I grabbed some text that I'm going to put in here just to show you how you can do a lot of formatting in this notes field. Like you can add links, you can highlight things, you can add those tables. There's a lot of stuff you can do in there. And you also can add your own photos, which I will show how to do in a couple other events, but you can really customize everything in here. So keep that in mind. And then you also, of course, could utilize these little these fields. So you can add things like confirmation number and room type. So I'm going to add all of this just to fill this in so you can see. And then once you have everything, just click done editing, and there we have it. Done. So easy, very easy to do. Now, if you were to start adding your own content, like let's say you added your own photos, information, you can save that to your library. Now, I'm going to be talking about the library a little bit more here soon, shortly. But one thing I do want to call out though is if you do create anything, save it to your library by clicking these three dots and click Save to Library. And that way it will be saved over here for you on the right-hand side. So when you're building future itineraries or proposals, quotes, you can come over and just drag and drop it in really easily. So again, I'm going to be coming back to that, but just remember that because again, I bet some of you I know will probably be specializing in things and you might just want to save things with your own custom content. So you can do that. But now let's say, okay, we have the flight, we have this. Now let's finish up this day. This day, you can see they get in, but let's say that like I don't have anything planned for them this day because they're getting in. I just want them to relax. So I could add a little message, like I could say new event, and I could just add like an info event and just have a message and say like welcome to Rome, like just enjoy your stay, kick back, relax, go walk around. Maybe you have some suggestions of things to do. Or if you don't want to spend time doing that, you could also use our city guides. So, Travefy's built in destination content we call city guides. Now, you can access, they are to over thousands of different places worldwide. And it's a great way to add filler into these itineraries on like maybe days they're not doing much or you don't have anything planned, or maybe you just want to give them a whole city guide so they can read up about it before they go. And how you add or access these guides is over here on the right-hand side. And then you just click City Guides. And then you are going to type in the name of the city guide. And then in here, you will be able to say, like, let's say Rome. And we're going to click Arrival Guides there. And then I could add this entire city guide in, or I can just pick and choose certain sections. So let's say, for example, I just want to add in the city. And then I want to add in things to do and see, because again, today they don't have plans. So we're just going to add in do and see. So see these different sections, you can pick and choose and look at what it just added. Now, this is amazing, but if you need to customize this further, you can. Do not forget that. You can come in and you can remove things, you can add your own stuff, all of that good things. This is also a great way that if you want to say like, hey, if you want to book a tour this day, here's some option or here's some things that you might be interested in, let me know and I can book something for you. So that's kind of a really cool thing too in there. But I have another pro tip here. I'm telling you, I kind of I got bougie with this itinerary here because right here, the city one, that's just like about the city. I could leave this just as it is, but something that I think is really cool is if we go in to edit this, I want to change this title and make it not so plain. And I want to say, welcome to Rome. And then let's just keep this there. Now, let's say I want to move this before that check into the hotel, because see how it flows, how they're arriving and then it's like welcome to Rome. So my idea in my head is that when they're on their transfer to their hotel, they're reading this, things like that. So I think that's really cool. So I just love the flexibility that these city guides can have. And again, especially if these are FIT custom trips, these really help add a lot more in there. And again, and for those of you who are like, I really don't like the itinerary time, but I know I have to do it. It's like, add these city guides. That really will make your clients wow. And then it does not take you time to do. So, really great tips in there. But okay, so now we're going to keep moving along here because I've got so much for you. I just want to make sure you know everything that's possible that you can do in here. Because one thing that I want to show as well is adding things like tours or adding like dinner reservations, basically just adding things manually. Because you can see I've been adding things from Travefy, but what if you do need to add something manually, which you really might, especially on these types of trips. So one thing that we could do, let's come into Wednesday here and let's add a tour manually. Now, again, this could be anything. It could be like dinner reservation or maybe even just suggestions to do, but I'm going to add a tour. So I am going to click new event. Now, one thing that's going to throw you off. You would think you click tour, but tour is actually our database of tours. So I'm going to choose activity because I'm manually adding something. So I'm going to choose activity here. And then in this title, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say private Rome food tour. So our clients are going on a private Rome food tour. You'll also notice we have subcategories. So I'm going to choose food and drink. So it kind of changes the icon that they see, which is really cool. It's the little things, it's the details. And then I am going to copy and paste this from the tour provider that I'm using. So I'm keeping this pretty tame. I mean, you could add more again if you wanted. But then I can also, of course, add things like if I need to attach a document from like their booking. But I can also say, it's important to know what time does this even start? And then how long is it? So we can include all of that. So I'll do that in here. And then something I highly recommend doing is adding photos and videos wherever you can. So in this multimedia section right here, you can add up to 5 photos or videos. So to add those, just click in there and you will see, again, you get access to our free stock photos. You could upload your own, or my personal favorite, copy and paste from a website. This is easy. You can also copy images, by the way, too. So if you want to just copy and paste images, but look at this. I'm going to get images from this website. So this food tour Rome, I just found it and I haven't actually tried them. So hopefully they are good, but I just wanted to show you though, if you drop that in, look at this. So now I could pick and choose up to 5 photos. So I'm just going to pick a couple of these because I want to leave room for one more. Let's see. There's so many to choose. Okay, we're gonna choose these 4 because I want to leave a room for a video. This is really cool. So I'm gonna click this multimedia section one more time. And let's click on video. Now, what this is, if you have a video from YouTube or Vimeo, so this doesn't have to be like yours, it could be from, this is literally just from the tour operator right here, the provider of this tour. But this is great. If you're ever working cruises, resorts, the destinations, they have videos. So here's a little pro tip for you. If you go to like the destination marketing organizations or the tourism boards, they will always have videos usually, and they would love for you to use them. So go into their YouTube or their Vimeo and use those videos because you can add them in. And then here, we're going to drag and drop this to the front because this is just going to add so much fun stuff to your client's itinerary and it's going to get them really excited about this. So you'll see here at the end what this actually looks like for them, where they'll actually be able to watch it. It's really amazing. So such a cool thing there that you can access. So that's how you add it manually. Now, let's talk about the library really quick because the library is where you can save content to reuse over and over again. So the fact that I just made this, likely I might use it again in the future because this doesn't have anything that's like specific for this client. So maybe I had confirmation, but I could remove that out later. But I could save this to my library to reuse again for future trips by just clicking these 3 dots next to done editing down here. Save to library. I also can give it let's say Rome. I'm going to give it some labels because this is how you can start to organize all the content that you save. And then I'm just going to save it. And then now any future itinerary or proposal I'm working on, I can actually type in like Rome tour and it will actually come up. So here, there it is. Private food tour right there. Pretty awesome stuff. So keep this in mind as we're going through, because again, I am doing a lot of manual stuff today because I really want to show you, but that's going to be the thing that really helps save you a lot of time is saving things to your library, and also utilizing Marketplace, which I will get to here soon. But I want to show you one more way to add tours because this is a manual way. But let's say on Thursday, if you have a tour that's booked with a supplier that maybe we're integrated with, you can always click tour and you'll find some major tours here. But one that I want to take a pause on and show you is how do you pull in. So we've talked about this a couple sessions this week is we integrate with Viator and Project Expedition. Now, both of those companies, if you're not working with them, I highly suggest and work with both because Project Expedition, they're awesome. They are a tour company that works really closely with advisors where you can book it with them or you book the tours and then you earn those commissions. Viator is the exact same way. And so with both of those, you're able to go set up an agent account for free with both Project Expedition, Viator. So I highly recommend go do that after this. And then once you set up your accounts with them, you'll want to go in and you'll want to connect that account into Travefy. And I'll explain why here. But how you do that is you go into your account settings. So we're going to do that by, we stepped back out to our account here. Click on your name, top right-hand corner, click account. And then in here, go to linked accounts and then turn on Project Expedition and Viator. And you'll be able to put in like your information to connect your account. This is also, by the way, where you connect like select hotels and then also Virtuoso. So these are where you turn those options on in there. But once you have these turned on, let me show you what this is about to be doing. So let me go back in to edit this. Now, if we go back in this day, what it means when you've connected this, you can pull in any tour from Project Expedition or Viator. When you pull those tours in, a specific booking link is going to come in automatically. That booking link is going to connect to your account. So if your clients, let's say that if that tour is not booked yet, your clients can book it with that link on their own and you still earn commission. Boom. It's amazing. And I'm going to show you how easy this is. Now, I'm going to use Viator as my example for this one. And I'm doing that because yesterday someone was asking about this and I'm like, I got you. I will do this. So in your agent account, it's going to look a little different. You'll have, your agent account will look a little different, but you'll still be able to see something like this. So let's say for this day, we want to book the Rome, Tuscany, and Montepulciano day tour, which I wish I was on right now. Amazing. And so in here, what you will do is, let's say you have this tour. Now let's come back into this trip and let's add this tour in. So we are going to do that by clicking new event. And then we're going to choose tour. And then under tour line, this is where we're going to choose Viator. There we go. Now, we need to enter the product code. Now, the product code you will be able to get in your agent profile. It's also, you can't see it. Let me see if I can change here. Let me move this up to the top. Right here, see that last thing? That's what you need actually. And so when we come back in here, we're going to enter that product code and we're going to get the itinerary. Now, let me move this. Oops, hold on. Let me fix my screen here. Oh, okay. Hold on. There we go. We'll just do that. And so now you'll see that we have this tour that just got pulled in and add it. Now watch what happens. What? Is that not amazing? Look at all this information. Now, again, if this is too much for you, you can always remove some of this out. So you can change some of it. Also, here's that booking link. Now, if this already is booked, you can just delete it. If it's already booked, don't worry about it. Just click that little thing. But I actually wouldn't remove it, to be honest with you, because if they click that link and they still like go and book something completely different for another day, it's still tracking for your commission. So pretty cool thing. But if that also one thing though, it could confuse your clients if it says booking link. So maybe you change that wording, which you could do, or just remove it. I've also seen some people, let us know some comments if people do this, where they'll actually build out some links. They'll put some links in and manually create, like, here's some suggestions, things like that. So it's really amazing stuff that like what you can do in there, which is so cool. Now, on this, I want to take a little pause because I've been showing how to use all these integrations. Some of the other integrations that I just don't have time to show is one, let's say if you ever work with a specific supplier, I'm going to use a couple examples: Expedia, Tap, FunJet, Apple Vacations, any of the ALG vacation family. We integrate with all of them. So if you book with them, you might not even need to be doing what I'm doing. And you can actually just pull in their entire itinerary by clicking new event. And then in here, you'll be able to click the booking option. So this is where you'll find this. You'll click new event, booking. And then from this dropdown, here's the suppliers that we work directly with. And what this means, because like the tours, all of that, that's basically we have access to a database where we can just pull content in. But this bookings mean it is actually booked and we can go get the actual booking for your client. So here's again, Blue Sky Tours. You can see Classic, Expedia Tab, all of these Project Expedition again that we've talked about, Southwest Vacations, Trafalgar, United. I mean, all of these, just amazing stuff in here. You actually then again, you just have to go ahead and add. So let's just say like FunJet. You will sign in basically one time just to connect your account, and then you'll just be able to put the booking number in and bring it in. Go find videos. We have a ton of FAQs on this, videos. We do webinars with ALG pretty frequently where we actually will show this kind of stuff. So if you do a lot of bookings that have to do with like FunJet, Apple, go find those. Just go to our FAQs because you'll see exact demonstrations of those specifically. But another one I want to show, this is the big one, is smart import. Let's say, again, all of these things that you've booked maybe, or maybe it's a supplier that we just don't support right now. You can use what's called smart import to pull that information in. Now, Smart Import, I think, is one of the greatest things we've released, like in the history of Travefy. It's one of my favorite things because it blows my mind every time I use it. It basically allows you to pull in content from almost anywhere. So think if you have a booking from somewhere, a PDF from a supplier, from a website, and you can just upload it or copy and paste it in, which you'll see me do here in a minute. And really what it does is it's using AI to read it, and then it's connecting to our unmatched content that we already have built into Travefy to connect everything together and pull the whole itinerary and information in for you. So let me show you first where you find this, and then we're going to do it actually. So where you find Smart Import. When you're in an itinerary or a proposal, you're going to click New Event, and you'll click Smart Import. So from here is where you can copy and paste it, or you can drag and drop a PDF in here. Now, so I do not mess up this very beautiful Italian adventure, I am going to go back out and I'm going to create a new itinerary here. So it's just going to create a new itinerary in this trip. It's just to show you for this example. And I'm going to say new itinerary. And then let's go ahead and click edit. Now, in here, I am going to pull in a Delta Vacations example. That is my favorite one to work with because I know a lot of you use, certain suppliers like that we don't currently support in there. And so right now, what you can do is you click New Event, Smart Import. And again, look at how I'm starting with nothing, by the way. There's nothing in here. So I'm just going to say Smart Import. Now, I could copy and paste. Or I'm going to actually have, I have, sample suppliers. There we go. Boom. Okay. Sample Delta Vacations quote. Import. Okay. Here's what's happening. Again, we're using AI, artificial intelligence, a robot in the background, to scan this document and connect it to what we have in our system so we can provide you with all of the information that we're able to. So you'll see it work here. And then I love before it actually will add everything, it asks you like, is this right? So you'll see like it says it finds some dates that might not be correct. And the reason why is because these are out of date now. So this is in the past. So that's why it's kind of telling me that. So you can always edit this if you do need to change dates. But look at all of this. It's going to tell you, here's what it's going to add. So it's letting you know everything here. And then you just import it and then watch what happens. Whoa, right? Look at this. All of this information. And sometimes, even if you had, let's say that you had pictures. If you have photos, you will be able to add those in too. So if it's like a PDF that has photos, you can do that as well. I've also shown an example before where I had like a dinner reservation and you get the email for it, and I just copy and pasted all the dinner information or the reservation information, and it added it as a really cool event with like information and the confirmation number, all that stuff, and with the time and everything. It was so sweet. So it's pretty amazing stuff that it can do in there. So remember that. It's really cool. So, okay, I'm going to go back in. I got to keep speeding it up here though. I apologize, but Smart Import is so cool. Please, I highly recommend using that. It's amazing. Now, one of the final things I want to talk about is how do we add even more fun, make this even more special. I have a hot tip. Now, Bonnie in the next session is going to be going deeper into stuff like this. So I'll make this pretty easy and quick. But one thing that I love to do or show people is how you can add more value in an itinerary. So you can add things like packing lists or like some tips before your trip. Here's things you need. You can add stuff like that into this itinerary very easily. So let's say, see this information document section? These are special sections, and you can add more. You can add as many as you want. Just click these three dots and say new info. And these sections, you can change the name, and these will allow you to add things in that have to do with the whole trip. So, as an example, let's say I want to add like a know before you go in a packing list. So, I am going to add that in here, and then I'm just going to click done. So, now we change that title. And then what I can do is I can come in new information items and I can start adding things in like no before you go. And maybe I add in any of my own messaging or maybe like insurance information or contact information, whatever it is. Stuff like that too. By the way, save it to your library so you can reuse it. But another thing that's really amazing is that you can head over to our marketplace that has content created by a ton of different people in our community, Travefy users. We also work with suppliers that can add things that we work, ask them to add things in there. And when it comes to things like packing lists, there's a lot in there right now. So let me just show you this. And I know Bonnie will show more of this here soon. But if you go back to your trips here, click on Marketplace at the top. And this, by the way, we've been adding a lot of stuff in over the week. But look at this. If I want to search for like Italy packing list, watch what happens. I mean, this is insane. And some of you might see Heather, Mike, hello, if you guys are watching this right now. Look at all this stuff. So thank you to everybody who's adding all of this. It's incredible. But another thing is, I want to show you that we've worked with Wanderlust Social and Host Agency Reviews to put in their packing list as well. So let me show you this really quick. I am going to search for Wanderlust. So I want to do this and show you. So this is Wanderlust Social. So if you know who, like Cindy Williams and her team, they're amazing. And they literally put in these amazing PDFs for anybody in Travefy to use. And so if I wanted to use this, all I have to do is copy it to my library. And now it's going to be copied into my library. So that way I can go in. Oh, actually, I think I already have this because I think I did this before. Let me go in. Yeah, I already have it in there. Okay, so here it is. Now let's go into this trip really quickly here. And then we're going to go in, this one, edit. And then I'm going to go know before you go. Now, when I come over here, remember this packing list. Let's just type in, there it is. I'm going to drag and drop it over. And there we have it. Now, of course, we might change this title, make it your own, add it. But now our clients have access to that packing list. How cool is that? And I'd also like to point out, you can drag and drop these to the top or the bottom. So really amazing ways. And then again, if you do create your own content, just save it to your library to reuse. Now, we could be going over how to continuously add things to this itinerary, but for the sake of time, I'm going to move on. So again, if there's anything that, you're wondering, like you specialize in specific type of travel that you're like, how would I add that in? Or how do I do those types of things? Ask us in the chat or chat our support team and we can help out. But also maybe head over to our Facebook group and ask questions and hear what other people do. So ask like what someone does for that stuff, because I learn new things all the time by all of you. So there's so many cool things that you can be doing. But I really want to start to wrap this up and talk about how you actually share this with your clients. Now, again, the next session, Bonnie's going to talk a lot about the mobile app and stuff like that. But when you're ready to share this with your clients, we can quickly preview what this looks like for them by just clicking preview, and check this out. We can see here's that packing list. And then here we go. We have these photos that they can view. They can also just quickly view things. So let's see, like if we went to that private food tour, watch this. Look at that. It's just right in there. How amazing is that? So really cool. Now, when they get this, And well, let me show you how they get it first. So let me go back in here. You're just going to click on the send button, top right hand corner. You are going to click get itinerary link. Now you can just copy this link. This is literally just going to take you back to here. And this you can just put in your own email, put it on social media, text it to them, and it will take them again back to here. But you also can just email them. If you just want to send them an email, you can, and then you can put a custom message in here, all that good stuff. And when they get this email, they'll have a button where they can go to that itinerary, which again takes them back to here. But if they do reply back to that email, it'll actually go to you. So it's not, so don't be afraid to just email it through here. I like doing that personally because I can then track to see if they've opened it, they've clicked on it, have they downloaded the app. It's just a lot easier to follow your client that way. But once they get there, they will have the option where they can get a PDF. Or if you do like to get the PDF yourself and print it off, because I know some of you do. So you also have the option if you're in your builder and you go to PDF at the top here, click that and you'll have more options to create a PDF in here where you can actually say like, I don't want to include city guides because those can create like, I've heard somewhere it can create like 80 pages based off of a very big long trip. So you can choose like, I don't want to include those or certain things like that. You do have that option in there. But then your clients also can get that mobile app. That mobile app, they will. So since I'm on a computer right now, I'll have to like send this to myself so I can get on my phone. But otherwise, if they're viewing this on their mobile device or tablet, they can tap that app option and it will actually take them to the App Store or the Google Play Store and allow them to download what's called the Trip Plans app. Now, the Trip Plans app is unbranded. It's called Trip Plans, not Travefy. That's for a reason because we want them to see your branding. So they'll be able to open that up. They can see, click through everything in here. Also, what I love about this, they can view this offline. So there's a toggle option there. You can see right there that toggle option that allows them to download everything so they can still view everything when they are not connected to Wi-Fi or using internet. So that's huge. They also can get those real-time updates in here for the flights and save those documents. And then you can also chat with your client. So again, Bonnie's going to talk more about this, but this is pretty cool way to just stay connected with your clients. So it is incredible. It is so nice being able to have this one of a kind experience for your clients. And it really changes the game for you as I mean, really helps grow your business and set you apart. So many amazing things that you can do in there. Now, I do apologize. I'm getting close to time here, so I have to start wrapping it up so we can get to Bonnie's session that will pair very nicely with this. But if you aren't currently a user, start your free trial at Travefy.com. You can start using all the things that I was doing today. And then join us for the next session coming up that, again, this is so perfectly paired. This is like Italian pasta with Italian wine is what this pairing is that join us again in an hour, take a little break, and then come join us again. And we're going to talk some more about that mobile app, making that experience and adding even more for your clients. So thank you so much, everybody. I know this was a lot and really fast. So keep those questions coming if you have them, and we will see you on the next session.